Alright, and welcome to Three Kings Crab Traps, Wire and Supplies, Crabby Adventures. Today I got a regular standard hex wire crab trap. We're going to go ahead and put this thing together. I have it in different colors so that you can see, which piece is which piece and how it goes together. We're using hex wire. It's a 17 gauge, 1.5 inch hex. So we got our side here, our baffle. We've been building this same trap for close to 30 years. It's proven to be one of the best catching traps amongst commercial crabbers, recreational crabbers as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and start putting this thing together. We want to tie it in nice and tight so that everything is nice and strongly woven together. You don't want loose ends, anything sticking out. You don't want it to hit the crabbers while they're crabbing. They do like nice smooth edges. Nobody wants to get cut while they're working, especially out in the water. So, nice and tight. Run our hand across. Didn't miss it. Turn it over. We're going to cut our holes out for the crabs to come up through the baffle here. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut them right in the middle. You want a nice even point sticking up. Go apart, standing straight up. So at this point, what we're doing is we're making the hole in which the crab's going to come in the bottom, come in here, and then it'll hang out here in the top. And it's generally hard for a crab to want to get back down. They don't like, they're sensitive to sharp edges, so I understand. So there we go. Right here we got our bait well. We're going to put this together. Use our pneumatic ringer. Pinch this together, holds the bait. Even out these top of this bait well here. So now that we got our bait well together, we'll go ahead and install that. Some loose rings to put that in. We use a 1/2 inch hog ring, stainless steel, all stainless steel. We don't use any galvanized rings, they just don't last. Alright, this is a sequence in which I build my trap. I'm sure other people have different methods that they use, which is fine, as long as it gets put together the right way. So this here is just a lip wire, they call it. This provides a little more stability in the shakeout area of where you're shaking out your crabs, and you'll see that when I get towards the end of the video. Alright, so now the bottom half of the trap's pretty much assembled. We'll go ahead and put in the top half here. And again, most of our traps are usually all the same colors unless the crabber's trying to color code their trap, or they think something works better for whatever reason. There are many theories, but in this case I'm just doing this so you can see each piece different from the other. So we'll just go ahead and tie this all in here. Again, you want to make sure you get every piece, every point, twist it around nice and tight. And at the end of everything, you always like to run your hand across to make sure you didn't miss it. Very important. Sometimes when this wire's bent, the end of a roll or something, it's hard to get everything to line up. But no problem. Same thing as the other side. Go ahead and wrap everything through here. It is a long process. You know, we get it a little bit faster when we're not in front of the video camera. I'm trying to break this down and go a little bit slower so you guys can see what I'm doing. So, always run the hand across, make sure we don't miss anything. And we're going to the top back. Put this all in here. This side is basically just like the bottom, but I like to do it a different way. It's just my preference. Been doing this the same way for about 29 years now. So we build crab traps so you don't have to. Just a little sneak peek into how it's done. Speaking of crab traps, I know a lot of people are going to say this is a crab pot. That's fine. It could be a crab pot. That's an up north thing. We're in Florida. We call them traps. It all works out. Same thing. Didn't miss any. Go ahead and put our lip side in. This is going to be where they're going to shake them out. Alright, go ahead and try these. Top points right here. Make sure everything's nice and square. We get the hog ring. Now I'm going to go ahead and hog ring all four sides. We like to add a little bit more of the hog rings, especially on the tops. That's where they're going to be worked the most, because these guys are going to be opening them right here. Then we'll just go right down the side. Same thing on the back, right along. And everything should line up nice and even. Always make sure you keep your hand out of the way if you're using a pneumatic wringer. They are not forgiving on fingers. Been there, done that. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and ring in our baffle. I have my own certain way, but you want to make sure there's enough strength and support all around the baffle. Here we'll go ahead and add an extra one. Support it. And at this point, I always like to go ahead and do my bait well. Cut out a little hole. You want this to be as round as it possibly can be. Depends on what kind of bait crabbers are putting in there. If it's, you know, squashed or whatever, they can't fit, you know, a nice sized fish, whatever they're using in there. So it's good to make sure it's always round. Nice round hole. There we go. And now we'll go ahead and add our bait well cover. We always use 2 hog rings on each side. This is going to be worked a lot. You want to make sure it's going to stay there. And this way we do a lot of different variations, and we'll do that in other videos too, just to see what, but this is the most standard way we end up doing it. The crabber comes here, there's that. Bait has room. You don't want this crossing here, because then the bait can't slide out. Good. Around this point, I like to go ahead and make sure the trap's nice and square. Work the edges here a little bit. So you want this top part to be crowned a little bit. If you're dipping down in here like that, the crabs can't get out through the top of the valve. So let's go back through that again, make sure we're nice and crowned. Alright, at this point while I'm here, go ahead and install our hook. And Florida state law requires that you have a biodegradable wood dowel, pine dowel. Go ahead and put that on. And that law is for commercial and recreational crabbers as well. Put that on. Go ahead and pull it down. And we'll make this nice and tight so that wood piece does not fall out. So there we got that. Now we got to install our entry funnels. We're going to have 4 places of entry on the trap. Okay. Now we got to install our 2 3/8 cull rings. You got to have 3 of these in Florida, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. That is to call out the small crabs, the fish, things that you don't want. I know everybody likes a nice big crab. Get rid of the small ones. So we just go ahead and install a couple rings on here just to make sure that these don't get out. So there's the trap. At this point, we're going to go ahead and get set up to install the funnels. The entry funnels, and there's 4 ways to get in this trap. We'll go ahead and do that now. There's our trap, and after I'm done, I like to go and just overall 4 of these, make sure I didn't miss anything. Anything sticking out could be a sharp point. You don't want anybody to get cut. So there's our most standard basic crab trap. It's 24 by 24, 19 inches high. It's a legal trap. It has all 3 call rings, biodegradable piece, and like I said, that's for commercial standards. Recreational crabbers, you're going to have to put a 2x6 turtle excluder in there. That was effective March of last year, I believe, 2023. And so at this point, this trap is ready to go to the crabber. Now take a look at some more detailed clips of how we put the traps together. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this instructional video of how we make traps here at Three Kings. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Come back and watch more videos like this one and see how we make different styles of blue crab traps, stone crab traps, fish traps, and others. Stay tuned and watch some of our day-to-day operations and our family fun crabby adventures. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. You gotta catch 'em.